Welcome to Cord Cutting Today for July 18th, 2023. This is the show where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting right now, including YouTube is adding a cool new feature that will make it a lot more enjoyable to watch some videos, and fixed wireless is becoming even faster to bring faster home internet options to cord cutters as Cord Cutting 2.0 comes for cable TV companies' internet service. We'll talk about these stories and a whole lot more here in a second. But first, hey, if you want to learn more about these stories, check out the show notes down below. And in the first pinned comment, I'll put a link to each video there so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here or you've been here a while, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here so YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow, helping us support our families, and hopefully we can help you break free from the high cost of cable TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. So with that all said, let's dive into the stories today. YouTube is rolling out a new feature that will level out the sound for videos. Now, this comes from a report originally spotted on Reddit, and Brandon Lee, I hope I said that name correctly, also spotted on Twitter, a YouTuber just like us here that reports on tech. But he's noticed a new feature that it's called stable volume in the video settings. So as you're watching this on mobile, either Android or iOS, if you're part of a small beta, if you click on that settings tab, under where it say playback speed and captions, and that is a new stable audio feed. Seems to use AI to level out. So if I'm screaming 1 second, very quiet the next second, you'll be able to get a consistent sound. Now, not all videos seem to have this feature. Not everybody seems to have it yet. YouTube has yet to officially announce this feature, but it's there and it's slightly hidden inside the settings. I have a few questions here. Will this be available for all videos? Or kind of like how YouTube automatically places chapters on some videos and does other things for videos, I wonder if this will be something where YouTube would detect a video with great ranges of volume throughout it, and then try to use AI to level that off and offer it as an option. Now, a cool thing here is it's optional. For example, if you're watching music videos, you may not want it to level out all the volume here. But if you're watching a video like this, and suddenly I play a clip that's blasting out your eardrums, you may want it, which is a cool feature. It's optional. It can be turned on and off in the settings for each video. I love it. I think it's a great feature. I hope this rolls out to more people. I hope this small beta test becomes a public national one, because I think we've all watched those videos where 1 second is quiet. You get this, or another way, you get this really loud intro video and then the person comes on speaking really quietly. It'd be cool to see that automatically leveled. All right, Cord Cutting 2.0. I've talked about this for a while. Cord Cutting 2.0 is the idea that we've now cut the cord on TV. Now we're cutting the cord on cable internet. So Comcast, Spectrum, Atlas, and others are facing a growing trend of cable internet customers bailing on them for wireless options, whether that be T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T's new wireless option, SpaceX, Amazon Home Internet coming soon, and more. Well, Ericsson, a manufacturer of wireless broadcasting equipment, has partnered and successfully tested a new 2.1 gigahertz frequency that offers 565 megabit speed internet, making fixed wireless internet far faster. Great thing about fixed wireless internet is it works great in rural areas to cover small towns, large areas with high-speed internet, where in the past you may have had dial-up, if you're lucky, old slow DSL, or SpaceX and more. Now you could have a wireless option. And this is really good because I've always said this. Studies have shown that when there's more competition, price typically comes down and data caps typically go away. We'll keep a very close eye on this, but very clearly more competition coming. This is going to put pressure on cable networks, which have already seen slowing growth in wireless or wired internet here because of people like T-Mobile, Verizon, SpaceX, and more. I always hear people say, well, I have no options for internet where I live except for cable. That's not true. Even if you live in an apartment building, you could use things like T-Mobile or Verizon in many areas. I understand not all. I understand there is a fraction of people out there who still struggle. But I would encourage you to not assume you don't have any options anymore, and do a little research. Do a little back-end hunting. I think you'd be surprised to find out what internet options you may have. All right, let's keep moving along because there's a lot that happened in the last 24 hours. Tubi's getting a new CEO later this year. The original founder of Tubi is stepping down from CEO, or stepping aside from CEO. I don't believe he's leaving the company. At least that's not what the press release said. And they're hiring somebody from Venmo. Now, this is really cool. One of the things that was in this is, according to Nielsen, Tubi now has more viewing minutes than Peacock and Max do. pretty cool amount of growth there for Tubi. But they're bringing in a former Venmo employee as CEO for the last decade of Venmo. It's going to come over to Tubi. Report to Fox Big, the Tubi Media Group, as a big, but her focus will be running Tubi as a whole. Very interesting. New ideas. Not to say that the current CEO was bad. Actually, was kind of very impressed with him. I saw him at the recent Stream TV show. I think he has a very good vision for what to do with the company and more. Actually, I take it back. I don't believe it was him I talked to. It was somebody else there talking about him and his vision for the company. But, and I apologize, a little dyslexic memory blurb there. But what he's been doing at Tubi, I think, is very good. So, not to say that I think he's bad, but fresh ideas, fresh views, not a bad thing at all right there with that. All right, let's keep moving along. Comcast today, today when I'm recording this, because I record this at night before I post it, yesterday announced they're adding 20 new free ad-supported channels to Comcast TV customers, and that more on the way. Basically what Comcast is doing here is they're stacking the number of channels so they can advertise all these crazy high number of channels with it. But it doesn't really cost them anything because they don't have to pay for these channels. They just split a cut of the ad revenue with them. Now this comes from the Xumo Play channels, which Comcast also owns. They're just moving some of that, building it directly into the cable TV interface, much like how Fubo, Philo, and others have been adding free ad-supported services. We've even heard rumors that other live TV services are considering doing the same. It doesn't cost them really anything to carry these channels, and now allows them to say, hey, we have 100 plus, 200 plus channels, because they have all the cable channels plus all these free channels. Now, one thing I did find interesting here is Comcast said that this is just the start. They intend to bring more free ad-supported content to Comcast TV customers in the future. Again, it's kind of a marketing battle here. What they're basically trying to say is, hey, we have 300 channels. Yeah, we have ESPN and all those, but we also have tons of free ad-supported ones that you probably never heard of, for example. So very interesting. See what happens here, but clearly the battle over the number of channels you can advertise is now being packed full of free ad-supported services that you would see on Tubi, Crackle, Redbox, Pluto TV, the Roku channel, and more, now coming to Comcast. And on the flip side too, it helps keep Comcast customers inside the Comcast interface, not letting them explore these free apps where they may say, why am I paying for Comcast if I can watch all this great content on Freevee, Tubi, Crackle, Redbox, Pluto, etc. Speaking of such services, next story up, Laugh and Court TV are launching free versions of their channels on Fubo, Plex, Xumo Play, Amazon Freevee, and more. Now, these are not exact copies of the original channels, and this is actually something we reported last week when we noticed that these channels went live on Plex, but now they have confirmed that they're launching Court TV Legacy, which will air the best trials of the last 30 years. Things like Casey Anthony, Jeffrey Dahmer, and more will get replayed on this classic channel here. We'll also see Laugh More, which will be very similar to the content you see on Laugh, but slightly different, and probably has to do with licensing deal. Probably some of the content that they have on the Laugh channel for over there at TV and on cable networks isn't licensed for free ad-supported streaming, so they have to put a slightly different version there. But if you want to find all the services to offer it, you want to see a little snippet of the lineup of these two channels, check it out. But once again, free ad-supported content is getting way better than it ever was a few years ago, a few months ago. You really should check out these services one more time. All right, a little update on the writers and actors strike. Now both writers and actors are on strike, and it's looking kind of ugly. There's reports that the studios are putting off future negotiations maybe as late as towards the end of this year, like October or later, in hopes that they could starve out basically some of these writers and actors. Basically say, hey, yeah, the big name stars, we're not going to be able to negatively affect them. They have a lot of money. But these smaller actors, these smaller writers and more, could we pull enough of them away because they're not getting paid in order to get them to go back, vote to go back to work just to get paid to help keep costs low on this deal? I've said this for a long time. Both sides are right and both sides are wrong in this argument. And that's what makes this kind of tough. Actors have their list of demands, many very reasonable. Studios have a list of demands, many of them very reasonable. Both of them, though, need to come to the middle on this deal. I don't think that this is going to help them too much in studios, but we'll see what happens with this strategy. They're really hoping basically to get a lot of the lower members who don't have a lot of money saved up for a long drawn out strike to be willing to say, hey, we're going to come to the middle here and vote against our union to get back to work just so I can get a paycheck to support my family. We'll see how this all plays out, but very clearly here, there's a lot happening, and studios and writers right now and actors are very unwilling to negotiate beyond their core objectives. Writers and actors want limits on AI. They want a lot more money from streaming. Studios are saying, hey, we're already losing money on streaming. We just did the story over the weekend how Disney has not made a profit on Disney Plus yet. They've lost billions of dollars on their streaming efforts since 2019. So there's kind of middle ground here. Yes, writers, actors should be paid fairly. Somewhere in the middle is going to have to become this meeting point here. We'll see how it all works out. I would love to say, yeah, we're going to pay actors more without negatively affecting streamers. But I got a feeling there's going to have to be some type of low middle ground here. And I think what's going to have to be negotiated here is AI. And that's going to be the toughest part. And I think that's going to be the real sticking point here, much more so than the money. I think the money problem is much easier to work out than the fact that studios want to use AI to keep costs down. Actors and writers clearly do not want AI because it negatively impacts them. All right, let's keep moving along here real quick. Diamondbacks warned viewers during a Bally Sports broadcast that later this week, Bally Sports may stop airing Diamondback games and they may be on a new channel. Today, as you're watching this, if you're watching the day it came out on Tuesday the 18th, there's a court hearing. It is wildly expected that Diamond Sports will, which is the parent company behind Bally Sports, will lose the Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks games will flip back to MLB, and MLB has reportedly already been in talks with several cable companies and streaming services to offer the channels, much like they did with the Padres. If that happens, today's game on Bally Sports may be the last one. It'll be interesting to see if they pull the plug even before tonight, but I doubt it. And they will probably announce today or first thing tomorrow new streaming options, new TV options for the Diamondbacks. We will have full coverage over at Core Cars News. If you live in a Diamondbacks market, check that out. If you live outside, you're paying with MLB.TV, this won't affect you at all, other than the graphics will now be a different graphic set because the MLB will be producing it instead of Bally Sports. All right, and last story up, free streaming services like Pluto TV, Tubi, Freevee, and more are becoming more popular worldwide. United States, in the last couple years, have seen free ad-supported streaming services become some of the most popular fastest growing segment in cord cutting. Now we're seeing that growing worldwide, with Canada really adopting many of these free streaming services. We'll see how this all plays out, but let me know, are you an international? Have you been checking out the free ad-supported streaming services? Leave me a comment and let me know. Check out the full story, it's very interesting on that. Until then, let's wrap that up today, folks. I hope you had a fantastic day. I hope you have a great Tuesday. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Have a fantastic day.